Review for Maxine, directed by Ty West, starring Mia Goth. In the 1980s, Hollywood adult film star and aspiring actress Maxine Minx finally gets her big break. But as a mysterious killer stalks the starlets of Hollywood, a trail of blood threatens to reveal her sinister past. So this is probably one of the most anticipated horror movies this year, I'd say. You know, a lot of people love X and Pearl, and then this is the third movie in the trilogy. So you have X, the prequel of Pearl, and then Maxine, which takes place after X a few years. So overall, I thought this was a okay, very flawed movie. But I mean, I did enjoy it. I personally didn't really like X. I know it's like crazy. Everyone seems to love that movie. Maybe I'll rewatch it because I just didn't really enjoy it at all. But if I rewatch it, I'll do a review of that. And I haven't seen Pearl, so I don't know. But so then now to Maxine, and if you could do me a favor and smash that like button, that'd be great. Really helps the channel. So now on to the review. So this is a great looking movie. It's got great style. It's got a great De Palma influence, definitely. And, you know, like split screen, like how De Palma does it, and just the feel of the movie. It feels it's 1985. It feels kind of like it. But I like the style. I like the music. It's got this really cool music. Some of it's like neo-noir kind of feel. So I really dig all that. I really have no problems with any of that. So I think it's well directed. That's probably why I like it better than X. I think it's a better looking movie. I think I like the direction better. It feels more De Palma to me. I like the setting better. But overall, I thought this, and I guess I'm gonna get into spoilers now. So I give it like a 6 out of 10. Maybe a little higher, 6.5, but probably 6 out of 10. Because I just had major problems with the script. Like, you know, the cinematography, the director, I don't really have any problems there. I think it's a beautifully shot movie. But yeah, so spoilers now. So in the trailer, I thought like she was gonna go crazy and become like a serial killer herself. Now she doesn't, and that doesn't make it a bad movie. But what they were doing other than that, I just didn't find interesting at all. Um, and I just didn't really like her character either because a bunch of her friends are dying, but she won't talk to the police. And she's like, I don't talk to the police. And then she's like, well, why don't they save themselves? It's kind of like a heartless statement. Like, these are women that she knows and works with, that some of them she's like friends with, and she just doesn't seem to care when they're murdered. Now, at the end, she kind of acts like she didn't know that it was all the same murderer, but the police tell her it is. So, I don't know. I'm just not sure about her character. And I mean, at one point, her like best friend, this guy who works at a video store, who's one of the only characters that I really liked, was this guy that worked at a video store. He seemed like a real character to me, and his death was awesome. His death was epic. That was brutal. But he's killed, and and he like kind of lives, or he works in a shop that's like kind of underneath where she lives. So they're like, you know, So she visits there often, and she hangs out with the guy. Um, and he's killed, and they're wheeling his body out, and then one of the cops shows her it's him, and then she freaks out, starts crying, runs over to the body, but she still won't talk to the police. She still won't talk to them, and she's like probably afraid of people finding out what happened in X, but it was years ago, probably in a different state, and I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think she basically like she kills him in like self defense. If you've seen that movie, so I don't know. I mean, maybe she didn't for one of them. I don't remember. As far as I could tell, like they were trying to kill them, and she fought back. So, well, why is that illegal? But and she does something very illegal at the end of this movie, which I thought was odd too. So Mia Goth's good in it. Um, but yeah, she's kind of like sleepy. I felt like kind of I don't know, I just felt like she wasn't that intense. And she's also doing tons of coke throughout the movie, so you think that would kind of kick in the energy a little bit, but so yeah, but she's fine. I like all the neon. I mean, it's very neon 80s movie, and it looks great. So the DP's good. In fact, who is the DP or the cinematographer? Elliot Rocket. Okay, so he did X, he did Pearl. Oh, he did House of the Devil. Okay, I like that movie. That takes place in the 70s too, I think. So this guy can do period pieces. So, Frankenfish, Cabin Fever 2, The House of the Devil, The Innkeepers. Okay. Very a good cinematographer, but okay, and then there's this whole stuff with Kevin Bacon in this movie, who's great in it, I thought, but a little a little cartoony, I'd say. So he's a private investigator, right? And he is tasked with finding Maxine. And Maxine also, her father is this ultra religious crazy guy, like just a cartoon basically. And okay, he's tasked to find her, Kevin Bacon. He finds her. Question one: how hard would it be to find a porn actress in the 80s who is also taking small roles in legitimate Hollywood movies and is about to explode as a star? I mean, it's the 80s, there's no internet and stuff, so I guess it could be hard to find her, but that doesn't seem that difficult to me. But okay, he finds her, and I get that, but then he starts to keep following her, and then she beats him up. He has a camcorder, he's recording her. I don't know why he's recording her, and this isn't answered at the end. And then he starts to try and kill her, like he's on the set, and and this movie has a lot of good sets. I mean, on the Universal lot, they go to the Psycho house. I actually just rewatched Psycho. That's a better movie, but they go to the Psycho house, and there's a lot of iconic shots. I just don't think it adds up to much, because he's like chasing her throughout the Universal lot because she just finished filming, her part, her whatever for that day in the movie that she's gonna be in, and he's like chasing her with a gun, and it almost seemed like Wile E. Coyote, like like the old Warner Brothers cartoons or something. and I just don't understand what he's doing. And then later she goes to a like a nightclub, and puts all this makeup on, almost like a slash of red that looks pretty cool. And but then she's just kind of waiting for him. He's trying to kill her. I don't know why he's trying to kill her. I don't understand that part at all. You're just trying to find her, which is explained later why you want to find her, but why are you trying to kill her? It doesn't make any sense. Um and then she tricks him, and she basically gets her lawyer, her entertainment lawyer, played by Giancarlo Esposito. So, really good actor. And then she gets him and this other guy, and she slips out the back of the club. He goes out the back. They're waiting for him with the lights on the car. This guy walks up behind. Kevin Bacon knocks him out. Then they kill him. So she doesn't even kill Kevin Bacon, and they crush his car with him in it, which was a cool death, because it was kind of like anime-ish, because like all this blood squirted everywhere, and a little ridiculous, but they're playing up the ridiculousness in the death. So it was a kind of cool death, but I don't know, it's just kind of like, so she doesn't kill him. Earlier in the movie, she's walking down this alleyway, and then the gate's locked, and then this guy who looks like Buster Keaton, she even calls him Buster, and he has a knife, and then he's I guess gonna kill her, but then she pulls a gun out, she makes him strip, and then she steps on his balls. And then it cuts to black. So I assume she killed him, but he has nothing to do with anything else in the movie. And there's also this whole plot of the Night Stalker, which was a serial killer back then, is killing people, but you never get the feeling that this is the killer, like who killed her friends, who killed her other friend who worked at the video store. Some of the other friends are, I think one was a stripper. She works in a strip club too. So it's like her friend, but when she dies, she doesn't seem to care much. And then another person who's working on the movie that Maxine's working on is another woman that gets killed. Okay, so Kevin Bacon, I think his character makes no sense after he finds her. And she kills one person, I think. Maybe at the end, maybe one more. But anyways, so I don't know. I just thought this movie was going to be way different than it was, and what it turned out to be, I just didn't really think was that good. And I also think that definitely Kevin Bacon's character makes no sense and is like strangely cartoony and odd. I mean, I like Kevin Bacon, good actor, but so the ending. Now the ending, I mean, in the end, then because like some of her friends are like, oh, I'm going to this house up in the Hollywood Hills, and there's a gondola, and then they never return. So it's like, okay, so that's the killer. So then she gets invited. So she knows this is the killer. So she goes there with a gun. She goes up the gondola, and then it's revealed that the killer is her crazy religious father. And talk about over the top. This guy's performance, I mean, takes the cake, even more than Bacon. I mean, he literally does like jazz hands. Like, I don't know. I guess some people really enjoy this. And he's just a total cartoon. And he's angry that Hollywood chews up and eats, chews up young people and spits them out. and then he has these other family members of people there too, like a cult, and they're angry that their children. I'm not sure if they're angry that their children were chewed up and spit out by Hollywood, or if they were killed by like the Night Stalker and others in Hollywood. So I don't quite get that. Are you angry that they're dead, or are you angry that like Hollywood chewed them up and spit them out? So I wasn't sure, but this guy is, I mean, just a cartoon. Simon Prast, just absolutely cartoony, and then she's being followed by these two cops who she won't talk to. She won't help them catch the killer, but she's being followed by them. And then she pulls their gun out on the guy. All of the other cult members pull their guns out, so then she is disarmed. And then the cops come out of nowhere and they're like, freeze, drop the guns. So the cops save her. There's all this talk in this movie about saving yourself, but in the end, she doesn't save herself. The cops do. And then they start shooting each other. There's a shootout. Some good, squibs, practical effects, probably some CGI blood. And they start fighting each other, and in the end, both of the cops are shot off screen. Like one of the cops is shot, and he's dying, and he says he always wanted to be an actor to Mia Goth, and oh man, who's the cop? I don't know. He was in Boardwalk Empire. Good actor. Yeah, Bobby Cannavale, who kind of plays crazy, quirky characters. So I liked him. Michelle Monaghan, I thought she was good as the other cop. But he's killed. I mean, he basically killed off screen. She stumbles onto him. He's bleeding to death. Then the other cop, Michelle Monaghan, she has this giant cross in her eye, and then she says, "I think I shot him." Then she like falls down the Hollywood Hills, and I assume I think dies. And then so the villain is also shot off screen. It's just these kind of strange choices. I mean, it's not that you have to show this stuff, but it's just kind of like a payoff that never occurs. And then her father, who orchestrated all of this and somehow can afford this, incredibly expensive piece of real estate that's like right next to the Hollywood sign, and there's this gondola that goes up to the top. I mean, is that true? That's pretty cool. It's really, really cool. I go back to the cinematography, the best thing about this movie. And um yeah, and then he's on the ground bleeding, and he's kind of reminiscing with her because it's her father, and they have this saying of, "I refuse to accept things I do not deserve in this life." And then a helicopter puts the spotlight on them and is like, freeze. And she has a double-barreled shotgun, and then she blows his head off, and he's totally unarmed. There's a helicopter with police right above her. Like, I know you were just attacked by all them, but I don't think you can just blow his head off when he's unarmed. He's half alive. He may have just died if she just waited like 2 minutes. Blows his head off. Great effect with his head getting blown off. Kind of like Screamers, but he's laying on the ground. Although that's a way better movie, but So yeah, so I'm, and then I'm just like, okay, so she just does that right in front of the police. Nothing happens to her. Then they cut to, I think her movie Puritan 2 has been made, and now she's a huge star, and she's being interviewed about her crazy murderer father. But she killed him. I mean, would that be considered in cold blood? Like, I don't know. I know he's a psycho and he's a serial killer, but it's like the cops just saw you murder this guy and he's unarmed on the ground. I guess I'm just taking this movie too seriously, but it just is. I just thought it was odd, but so yeah, I didn't like the twist with the villain. I think the father is a cartoon character, and then right under him is Kevin Bacon, who once Kevin Bacon finds her, then he's trying to kill her, and he becomes a cartoon character. Also, um, didn't like the ending. Villain is over the top. Thought, yeah, like, and I think this movie would have been better if she became a serial killer, or she's kind of trying to find the night slasher who isn't in the movie, but his presence is kind of in it a little bit, but they don't really focus on it that much. But I thought if they focused more on that, I thought it could have been better. And then maybe some of her friends are killed by the Night Stalker, and then some are killed by someone else. And then in the end, she fights that someone else. But it shouldn't have been her dad, because I didn't like any of that. But it's just my personal opinion. The two cops actually defeat the bad guys, but then the cops die off screen, and I wrote WTF. So yeah, um, yeah. I did not think this movie deserved all the praise it got. I don't really get it. I guess because, X and Pearl are so loved that people really want to like the third one. But like I said, I'd rather watch this than X. So, like, I'd probably give X less than that, less. This is like a 6 out of 10. X is, I don't know, less than that. But, um, maybe I'll watch Pearl, but I haven't really liked any of these movies. So, that much. Like, this is barely okay. Elizabeth Debicki's in this as the big director who gives Mia Goth her shot. I thought she's fine. Um, I kind of like the scene when Mia Goth is being interviewed for the job for her role in the movie Puritan 2. Kind of like that scene. Apparently that was shown in a sneak peek like 6 months ago or something. So, um, but yeah, that's about it. Not a massive fan. It made 20.1 million at the box office. I don't know what its budget was. So this is Ty West. Oh, he directed House of the Wait, did he direct House of the Devil? Yeah, okay. Oh well, I like that. Okay, he directed House of the Devil. Directed some segment in VHS, The ABCs of Death. I haven't seen ABCs of Death. The Sacrament. Directed an episode of the Scream TV series, which I thought that series was terrible. Directed an episode of the Exorcist TV series. Never saw that. The Passage. So, but yeah, that's about it. Not an amazing movie. I think has tons of problems with the script. But like I said, I think the direction and cinematography at least make it watchable for me. So, but yeah, that's about it. If you could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great. And I'll see you next time.